I'm David Burns.
Hi, I'm Matthias Wegener, and we're Fallen Fruit. We're part of a collaborative activist art project.
We're in Silver Lake. We're in pretty much the dead center of Silver Lake, a neighborhood that's been pretty, gentrified over the past 10 or 15 years. And what's nice about this neighborhood as an example of public fruit in Los Angeles specifically is that the trees have clearly been here longer than the residents that currently call this home, They're here first. Yeah, we started with mapping, and we started with mapping this neighborhood as an example.
The Journal of Aesthetics and Protest had a call for projects that addressed social issues, but did them positively. It wasn't critical, right? And we thought, well, how can we talk about public space, by proposing something? So this is what we did. We proposed a kind of category we called public fruit, right? Which we invent based on a lot of pre-existing ideas of the public and of shared ownership. There's a whole lost idea of the commons, right? That is almost prehistoric. It's the land that produced something, whether it was fish or fruit or grain, that everybody shared. That over history exists less and less, and particularly it exists less in the Western United States.
That's something that's fundamentally important to the origins of the United States, the Boston Commons. That was a template of social structure of how people could survive a winter, right? I mean, how else were you going to survive? And as the country pushes west, there's less and less public space. When you get to LA, although we do have the largest city park in America, about 85% of it is unusable. So, I mean, that's a pretty good example of what's going on here.
So you gotta
you take the lemon.
Stop playing with the lemon.
Or play with it.
It's not. No.
Okay, I got it.
Just leave it here. Take that lemon away from
You just take everything
him.
away from me.
Yeah, always.
Right.
Okay.
Why do I get punished when I try so hard?
Because you got evil in your heart.
So we do this project, right? We do Fallen Fruit, we make a map, we write a manifesto, we do a website, we do some tours, we create a little energy, and kabam, the California State Assembly calls us. Kabam, like councilmen from Los Angeles call us, and they give us a lot of stress. Honestly, in the end, all of the people that represent the state of California, or the city of Los Angeles, were quickly understanding of what the project was about and understood, oh, this is a good thing, right? But what they first read is that, well, you can't talk about the law, and that's the point of, what's the civic responsibility in certain ways, what's the cultural expectations, and so we posed a question back to them, and that's what sort of turned the tables. Is, well, so tell us what is public. They're like, well, we can't. Exactly, and then we discuss, guidelines and gray law.
One of the interesting parts of this project is we discovered what a gray zone laws about things like this are. They change from region to region, from neighborhood to neighborhood, municipality to municipality, but even then, they're not very clear.
One of the things that Fallen Fruit likes to flirt with is thinking about the history of especially California, the history of America, the history of California, and how California came to be what it is. I mean, ultimately it's a savanna desert, and it was settled hundreds of years ago, although most people forget because the buildings don't show that.
Most of this neighborhood, most of the neighborhoods you see in Southern California were at some point in the 19th or even into the 20th century were fruit orchards of different kinds. This was, before the Central Valley came up, this was one of the bread baskets of the United States. It's got a great growing climate, and which you see obviously when you drive around LA. So part of what happened was the original founding visions of LA. If you look at early advertising about LA, you see that there's these kind of, it's like a little house with an orange orchard with a mountain with snow behind it. So
right.
Part of the mythology of Southern California was always you could have everything here, right? You could have a city with fruit trees growing in it, with a snowy mountain behind it. You could combine all the things in one place.
Right, and the sun always shines on TV, right? Yeah.
Really, the primary collaboration is with the public, and a great example was last year we were in the LA Art Fair and we were making jam, right, from public fruit. And it was hard for people to see it as art, which we expected. But eventually they did, and we had these pretty, sort of glowing jars of jam sitting on a table in front of us. And people would come up and say, "How much is this?" And we'd say, "It's free. Take it." and they'd get suspicious, right? And they'd say, well, why is it free? And we'd say, well, because it's public jam, it's from public fruit, and you're the public, right? So we get it from you, it goes back to you, and it's this kind of circular exchange. Well, part of the thing was that people at the Art Fair LA don't like to maybe see themselves as a public. They like to see themselves as rich collectors, right? So we were very amused by the complexity that came up and just trying to give people a jar of jam that we had made right in front of them with public fruit.
We do a nighttime fruit tour, which we call nocturnal fruit foraging, and we invite the public. We do a public invitation to the citizens of Los Angeles to come together on a weeknight, you know, sometime during the work week, school night, and we meet around 7 o'clock in the evening, right at sundown. And we bring shopping carts and fruit pickers and flashlights, and we invite them to come look at the neighborhood, whether it be their own or another neighborhood, as an example of what we're interested in, which is public and private space, social actions that change the way you experience a city or a neighborhood, meeting people you don't know. I mean, one of the things that's really exciting is that you think of an art project or you think of an art experience, and that often, at least for me, I imagine a certain kind of person that would be interested in that. And what happens with the public actions is that we cross demographics that will always make us really excited. I mean, we get very little kids all the way through, you know, seniors, and everybody is required to talk to each other. It's just the nature of the action. Like, you can't go through the experience in a movie theater and just, like, you're all there, but you're checked into this, focused on the same content, but do you know what I mean? There's no lateral sharing. It's impossible to have that with what we're interested in doing.
And also, when we're walking around these fruit tours, we meet the people often, and that's why we do it at night. We meet the people whose houses the fruit is growing at, and there's an exchange there, and often it's very positive. We have actually, in public, we've never had, with meeting people face-to-face, we've always had very good encounters. We had one bad email exchange in this whole project where someone asked to be taken off the map. Mostly when we meet homeowners, they're like, wow, please pick the fruit. Either we don't eat it at all, or we can't eat, and you know, we can't finish off this tree. And often they invite us on their property to pick more. You know, watch.
You know, have you ever had a 4-pound avocado hit you from 35 feet? It's pretty intense.
We go shopping and we'll pick. We'll do this, right? Reach up and pick a piece of.
Can you do it? Not knock me out? Oh, well, knock out the camera. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah.
We reach up and we do this.
Oh, you did
there
it
goes. We reach up and we do this.
Oh yeah, much more gentle. There you go. Cool. Now we have a lemon.
There's a number of aspects to this. One is very much ecological, environmental. All right, we're interested in changing the actual organic shape of the city and of our neighborhoods. Another is social and cultural. We're interested in ways of establishing relationships between groups of people that don't have a relationship right now. LA is a very anonymous city. People not like many cities, people don't know their neighbors. People drive, which adds a whole other layer. This is about walking. It's about knowing your neighbors. It's about knowing your neighborhood. A third aspect of the project is also about art, right? What's the function of art? Why does art exist? One of the things we believe is that art exists to create social relationships among people. The meaning that's created in any work of art is about some form of exchange that is always social.